Right, so welcome to 9Speed. On this episode we're looking at a 964 RS, a 964 Carrera 4 and a 964 Carrera 2.
Fantastic. So first of all, my modified C4. This is a lightweight car, so it has a carbon bonnet, it has a sunroof delete, loads and loads of weight's been taken out, and it has a more or less a cup spec engine, so it's got sports cams, freer flowing exhaust and a few trick bits like that. Then we have James's C2.
So what I've done with my C2 is I've lightened it as well, but it has a standard engine, so I have in theory less power and less weight, but probably I'm expecting it to be quite evenly matched. In terms of what I've done to it, I've deleted the sunroof, I've lightened the interior and lost stereo and air conditioning.
So it's pretty much RS spec really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. And then we have Frank's RS.
Yeah, so this is an original RS lightweight. The only modifications I've done to it are pretty much a G-pipe and a cut pipe. So those are two silencer deletes. So it's now a loud girl. Otherwise, it's been a restoration. The car came to me as a track rat. So really it was an exercise in getting it back to good cosmetic condition because mechanically it was pretty sound.
Okay, fantastic. So I think we've got a really interesting test ahead of us. First of all, hopefully we'll be able to put to rest once and for all the argument about C4 versus C2. Secondly, we're going to be able to see how close two modified 964s can come to the real factory RS. So let's take them out for a drive.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay, so here we are, I'm in Jack's Carrera 4. It's a pleasant surprise. It's a very nicely put together car. It feels very solid and weighty, and it feels, as you'd expect, different to a Carrera 2. So it's slightly heavier and more sure-footed in that regard. I haven't really pushed on such that I've noticed the benefit of four-wheel drive. It's got a beautiful engine, very strong. But when pulling away at speed, you can definitely feel that the front's got traction as well. The car doesn't sort of squat as much and squirm on its tyres. Two other things, the suspension on this car is softer, it's more compliant and less crashy, and the brakes are nowhere near as good. So I presume he's got the standard C2 brakes, not the slightly larger RS spec that I fitted. So you very much feel like there's something mechanical that's connecting the front and rear equally. The geometry is more akin to a road setup. It's very compliant and soft.
I'm in Frank's RS, familiar 964, it's left-hand drive. This is the Pucker full factory deal. It's quite special. Some thoughts that come to mind straight away. The suspension actually feels underdamped compared to the suspension in my car. The springing feels maybe a bit harder. The gearbox is lovely. It's got a really short throw compared to a standard car. I love that. So if I do a conversion on my car, that will be definitely one of the things I'll do is put a short throw kit on it. The other massive difference is in the steering. It just wriggles about so much, and I presume that's because it hasn't got any power going through the front, so there's no drive shafts, there's none of those issues. So it pulls all the way, it pulls strongly. I'm easily keeping up with James's car, which isn't surprising since this is at least as light as that, and the engine should be a bit stronger. It's got a precision to it, the steering, that my car certainly doesn't have. I think the C4 is definitely more stable. You can even in fast road driving tell the difference between C4 and C2. It's not true that you can't. I can immediately tell the difference being on this and my car. And my car is very much RS spec. It's very much lightened. So this is maybe a bit quicker than James's car, but there isn't a lot in it. You know, know what, these 964 engines, they're so much better than people give them credit for. I know they had a reputation for leaking and all that kind of stuff, reliability issues, but when they're working, and most of them by now have been rebuilt anyway, they sound great, they're really smooth, they're fantastic. They're quite linear in their delivery, but there's a bit up top if you have the sport cams. I think they're great engines. As usual, Frank is really hammering it down these little lanes. And I have to say, the RS feels good.
So now I'm in James's 964, his Carrera 2, which really track orientated. The interior's been stripped of weight, so there's no soundproofing, there's no aircon, there's no radio. All I've got is scaffolding over my left shoulder. The seat position is perfect as well. Held into these buckets, I'm not going anywhere, and it really connects you to what the chassis is doing. The engine pulls really nicely. It's got 112,000 miles on the clock, but it really doesn't feel like it. The lightweight flywheel keeps the revs up. It's a very revvy little engine. The soundtrack to this car is fantastic. The primary silencer has clearly been deleted, and it sounds great. That glorious flat 6, air-cooled, hounding away. There's also a brilliant mechanical sound coming from the lightweight flywheel. The steering here is probably the biggest difference compared to the RS. It feels a lot lighter, and that's because this one is assisted. The one in the RS is a complete manual rack. There's less feedback as a result, but it does make it easier to live with every day. The brakes on this car feel very positive. Lots of feedback coming through the pedal. Not as much as say an earlier 911, but still plentiful. The road is communicating right through your right foot. 7,000, fourth gear. Yeah, we're really moving now. It's amazing how capable these cars can get once you start stripping them out. Quite frankly, I don't think there's much in it between this and a genuine RS in terms of performance and weight. The difference is really negligible. I love what James has done with this car. He's really set it up really well. It's just so positive. Everything has just been tweaked and modified and harnessed. And it just gives you so much wonderful feedback. Whether it's through the brakes, through the steering wheel, or through the responsiveness of the engine. I love the way this engine revs. A naturally aspirated engine in the 911 really is something to behold. The sound is absolutely glorious.
Okay, so now we've been out for a drive, and James, what did you think of the C4?
Well, I really enjoyed it. I think that we've had a really good drive today. The three cars are very similar, but the C4 it's got a different characteristic.
Yeah.
And so it feels more hewn, more solid. It's got you sort of know that each wheel is connected and is getting power. So when you steer it, you have that feeling of solidity. And when you press on or corner hard, you know that there's that grip.
And Frank, what did you think of the C2?
I think overall it's an absolutely brilliant car. It's clearly been put together in a way that has had a lot of thought into it. It feels like it's been built for a purpose, and you suddenly feel that when you're in the road. I've got a lot of experience mostly with 94s with 18-inch wheels, and with this car being on 17-inch wheels and narrower to what I'm used to, so the stock setup, it's a car that has a wonderful delicacy, and it really, really dances through your fingertips as you're going through the steering. The driving position is awesome. You know, the steering wheel is a Mod 7, so it's got a deep dish. The buckets really make you feel like you're involved in what's really going on inside the chassis. And the engine as a whole is very free revving, and it's just a very well thought out, well put together package.
In terms of your RS, you can definitely tell that it is a two-wheel drive car. People say that on the road you can't really tell the difference. I think you can. The steering definitely has more feel. It's much freer moving. The car is definitely more agile. But ultimately, it just feels like the two-wheel drive cars are just freer moving and freer revving.
I think genuinely my point of view with these cars is that it is subtle nuances, and all of them are very, very capable cars, because fundamentally they've all been licensed, and it really is a question of personal preference.
Okay, so from my perspective, my main aim was to try and find out whether C2 and C4, whether there was really a big difference and whether it's worth converting my car. And I think there definitely is. What about you, James?
I've spent 5 years sort of honing mine into what it is now. And I think today reinforces that I've achieved it.
But they're all great cars. So thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe.
Let us know what you think is the best car.